Colors, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Honor Guard, attend, put, present arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready, two.
Order, arms. Parade, rest.
The chaplain will give the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, bless us as we gather today to dedicate this bridge in memory of our native son, Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns, a young man who made the supreme sacrifice in service to his beloved country. Bless his family and all those assembled here on this day who remember his life, his love of country and the United States Marine Corps, and his passion for the preservation of freedom. We pray that all who may travel across this bridge will recall that freedom comes at a cost, and that cost has been paid by one of our own. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome all the members of the Kerns family, fellow veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As Commandant of the Elkins Marine Corps League, it's my privilege to welcome all of you to this event as we honor Fred Michael Kerns, Lance Corporal, United States Marine Corps, with this ceremony dedicating the Eisner Creek Bridge in his name. At this time, I'd like to introduce Isla, who's going to come forward, and just introduce a few members of the Kerns family.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Uncle Terry. Terry Kerns is my Uncle Fred, Mike's older brother. Uncle Alan over here in the white. In the back, that motley crew, the tall bearded man is my older brother. He's his nephew and his namesake, Stephen Michael. Beside him is Cody, my younger brother. Beside him is my sister Debbie and her beautiful children and her husband Chad. Up here is Uncle Jimmy Glover. He is Mike's uncle, Fred Michael's uncle. His wife Jean and their granddaughter Destiny. Looking for other family. Sorry, the masks make it a little bit difficult. Terry, is there any other family I'm missing? Not that you know. Alan, do you see anybody else?
Not here yet.
I think that's all the family.
Okay, thanks very much. I'd like to, at this time, introduce some of our dignitaries. We've got Senator Bill Hamilton. Bill's over to my right. Bill was instrumental in getting this resolution for Fred's Bridge posted to state legislation. Right next to him, to his right, is Delegate Bill Hartman. Bill is also instrumental in getting other bridges in Randolph County named for veterans and other distinguished individuals that are now deceased. And then Rick Butler. I always say Rick Butler. He's not Rick Butler, but it reminds me of that rogue that was in Going with the Wind, because he's just like him. Okay, that's Rick Dusenberry. He represents Congressman Alex Mooney. God bless, Alex. I always do that. Anyway, I don't think no one else in the city is here that I can think of.
Senator Pitzenberger.
Oh, Senator Pitzenberger. Okay, sorry. I'll give you 20 after we get done. Okay, anyone else, Bill or Bill? I don't see anybody else that's from the cities here. I consider every one of you distinguished, okay? When I was asked to assist with the submission of a resolution to the West Virginia State Senate to dedicate this bridge in honor of Fred Kerns, I was extremely proud and privileged to do this. Fred grew up in Upshur County and graduated from Buchanan Upshur High School in 1966. Fred's main interest when he was a child from age 9 on up was flight building. and building model remote-controlled airplanes. He was a former Boy Scout. He was active in 4-H and was on the freshman basketball team at Grafton High School and caddied during the summer at the local golf course. While a student at Buckhead and Upshur High School, he was a member of the junior varsity and senior varsity basketball teams, was a cross-country runner, and a member of the archery club and the clee club during his junior and senior year. During his summer, he was a junior and senior lifeguard at the city pool, and as a senior acted in the senior class play, Our Town. After graduation, he attended Fremont State College. Fred's idyllic youthful activities, however, were soon replaced by the grim realities of war, when he proudly chose to serve his country in the United States Marine Corps and carried out our nation's colors to one of the most dangerous places in the world, Vietnam. He was living with his parents in Elkins when he joined the Marine Corps in 1967. On October 3rd, 1968, Lance Corporal Kerns arrived in Vietnam and served as an avionic technician at door gunner aboard helicopters with Marine Light Attack Helicopter Squadron 167, Marine Air Group 16, 1st Marine Air Wing, 3rd Marine Amphibious Force. They were at Marble Mountain Air Facility in Da Nang. He was part of the Marine Civic Action Program where they painted and repaired the all-girls China Beach orphanage, thereby contributing immeasurably to the Vietnamese-American relations with their squadrons within their squadron's area of operations. Fred started visiting the South China Beach orphanage and volunteered almost daily with the children. He wrote to his family and asked them to help support that orphanage. And some of his articles were put in the local papers in the area around where he lived at the time. He grew attached to one of the little girls, Han Thai Nguyen, and called her his little sister. Fred's relatives attempted to adopt her, but situations in Vietnam became difficult and they lost all contact with her less than a year after Fred lost his life. Fred lost his life on July 29, 1969, when a helicopter he was aboard left the airfield to test their miniguns of flying over the bay at Da Nang. The aircraft lost engine power, and went down in the water off of Quang Nam Province near Da Nang. In your program, you will notice on Fred's left shoulder, there's a rope decoration known as a fourrage that Fred is wearing on his left shoulder. It's not for the 5th and 6th Marine Regiments that the Marines normally wear. The 5th and 6th Regiments are the only authorized units in the Marine Corps to wear the Croix de Guerre. That came from World War I in France. But the Vietnamese fourrage is authorized by individuals or members of units that received at least 2 or more South Vietnamese Gallantry Cross medals between February 11, 1969 and 1974. The South Vietnamese fourrage was ended by the services in 1974. Since it was only issued for 5 years, it is something from the war that seems to have been forgotten. Fred was awarded the South Vietnamese Military Merit Medal Award of the Second Republic. The Vietnamese Military Merit Medal was the highest military decoration bestowed to enlisted personnel by the Republic of South Vietnam during the years of the Vietnam War. The medal was established on August 15, 1950. The Military Merit Medal was modeled after the French Médaille Militaire and was awarded mostly to enlisted men for valor in combat. The Military Merit Medal is awarded posthumously to non-commissioned officers, including aspirants and enlisted men in the armed forces who have previously received citations of the armed forces level, been wounded once or more in combat, or distinguished themselves by their heroic actions. The Military Merit Medal may be awarded or possibly awarded to Allied non-commissioned officers and enlisted men for valor or fighting against the enemy in the Republic of Vietnam. Fred performed remarkable acts of bravery by serving as a door gunner on attack helicopters that ferried men into and out of combat. The helicopters supported infantry units under fire and performed rescue missions for the wounded as needed. He demonstrated selfless acts of devotion to a cause bigger than himself. He could have done something more self-serving, but chose to serve, knowing full well that he could go in harm's way. Fred wore his patriotism not only on his sleeve, but also on his heart. He loved life, he loved his friends, and he loved being in the United States Marine Corps and serving his country. He did not try to avoid his patriotic duty, as he relished it and wanted to set an example for other young men to emulate. Fred was one of the best our nation had to give. His dedication and commitment to serve is unparalleled. He wanted to do his duty, serve our country, and protect our freedom, just like all those who served before him. Fred is buried at Masonic Cemetery in Weston. This bridge out here is an important piece of infrastructure in the Elkins area, but now it's much more. It's also a permanent reminder of the dedication honoring U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns. Today we stand near that small bridge and reflect upon this fallen Marine and his service to his country. We recognize the naming of this bridge will serve as a lasting symbol of our remembrance. His loss of life in service to his country shall not go unnoticed, and naming this bridge is a proper way to honor Fred Kerns and ensure future generations are aware of his commitment and service to his country, which helped preserve our way of life. It is with respect and dignity that we're here today to remember him, to honor him, and pledge never to forget him, as this bridge will forever serve as a silent sentinel of his service. It is right and appropriate that Lance Corporal Fred Kerns should be remembered and honored for his invaluable service rendered to his country and humanity. As members of the Kerns family and those who knew him cross this bridge, they know that Fred's legacy is forever forged in history. It is my honor and privilege to stand here with these family members, these other service veterans, these dignitaries, and to honor this fallen Marine. His bravery and dedication to his country will never be forgotten. The dedication of this bridge will forever memorialize his action and will inspire our youth and communities for years to come. As we gather to remember Fred's life, I am grateful to West Virginia State Senator Bill Hamilton for pursuing this honor and tribute to this fallen local veteran. Bill Hamilton, who recognized the need to honor this brave Marine in Vietnam, co-sponsored Senate Concurrent Resolution number 19 and gained the approval of the West Virginia State Legislature to dedicate the Ivory Creek Bridge as the United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns Memorial Bridge. Senator Hartman wanted to not only memorialize Lance Corporal Kerns' service in this small way, but also have it be a memorial for our society in general about the personal sacrifices that this individual and the other servicemen and servicewomen have given to protect our independence as a country. Now, at this time, before I introduce Senator Hamilton, are there any family members who would like to say a few things? Now, Frenchie, come on up here. Frenchie here's from Florida. He was in the squadron, in Fred's squadron in Vietnam. He wants to say a few things. And being a Frenchman, he'll.
Well, this was kind of sprung on me, or I'd have written something down. As Doc says, I call him Doc because he was a corpsman. That's all I know these guys as anyway. But over the years, you know, we've stayed in touch. A lot of the squadron members, Barry Funfire over here, he's one of my homeboys. I don't know if I should say this in public, but we're both from Massachusetts. But anyway, we were both in the squadron at the same time with Fred. And I used to read different things, see things in squadron history, and I've always been about, you know, people walk around, never forget, always remember. We saw where that went with the towers and all, but I've always carried that in my heart about always remembering. And then when I got word of this, what was going on here, you know, I thought back, I said, well, it took 51 years, but it's better now than never. And it's very significant now in the times that we're in to remember a guy that died 51 years ago. The reason, you know, I got interested, naturally Fred was one of my friends in the squadron, used to see him all the time. Matter of fact, he bunked with Barry over there. And I was a crew chief, so I wasn't around much in the squadron area. We'd come in, change crews, get our gunners, and leave. We didn't like to be around too much because Sergeant Major would always find some way to give us a hard way to go, so it was better to be out flying, getting shot at, instead of being in the rear getting crapped at. So Fred was a gunner. He loved what he was doing. Died doing what he loved to do. No better epitaph. It was a very sad day because, you know, you lose guys in combat. It's expected, but you know, we didn't always have the best equipment. We did what we could do with what we had, and when we started that squadron, we built it ourselves from day one. We got everybody else's junk, we put it all together, and we flew the hell out of it. Made history. Well, Fred was out there one day testing the guns in a plane that should have been a lot better than it was. But that was the job, and we always said, well, Fred, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. And we all kind of lived by that. And plane went down, 4 on board, 1 survivor. He lives with that guilt every day of his life because when the thing quit and went into the drink, he just couldn't move fast enough to save it. And he's always carried that with him. That's why you probably won't hear from Tom Broderick. But God made that decision, Tom didn't. So we lost 3 that day, the crew chief, Fred the gunner, and the co-pilot who was on his second tour, who had already lost his brother who was a Marine infantry officer earlier. So anyways, I saved my money. As a Lance Corporal, you don't make an awful lot, and I bought a camera. So I went nuts for about a month taking pictures of everybody and everything. And I'm really thankful I did that now because Fred came in one morning as I was checking out to go flying. Fred came over from the avionics shop, and I was listening to the introduction on Fred about being a model plane builder. And yeah, that's what he did. He played with all that trick stuff, you know, so Barry. I don't know to this day, I'm a wrench bender. But anyways, I was running around snapping pictures. Fred came over to check the flight schedule, see when he was flying, morning, noon, or night, and he had his fly swatter with him. Everybody carried a handmade fly swatter. We got really ornate with some of them, you know. That was our killing machine. And Fred comes in with his fly swatter, and he was leaning against the bench, and he's looking at the flight schedule. And I says, "Hey, Kerns, smile." Fred didn't really give you much of a smile. It was always more of a smirk, you know. And I snapped it. And it went for years in my pictures. And for whatever reason, I came across it one time and I remembered it. This is years ago. And then when all this started about, you know, hearing about the bridge and the family and everything, I went scurrying and I found it and I sent it to Isla. So, before I turn into an emotional slob here, Fred was a good friend, patriot, and a Marine. I think that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else in the family would like to say a few things? Everybody okay? Okay, then if no one else wants to say anything, I'll have Bill Hamilton come up. At this time, Bill's going to read the resolution and pass those out.
These masks are supposed to keep us safe, but when you wear hearing aids and glasses, it doesn't work out all the time. I'd like to say a few words before I read the resolution. I'd like to thank Stephen Michael, the guy with the long beard. Had I not ran into him last summer at the sheriff's office, no, he wasn't in trouble.
Not that time.
No. But it finally came to fruition, this resolution, and I appreciate Alan and Terry for their encouragement in doing this. And the gentleman that just spoke, we spoke about the Marine Corps and being in the Air Wing. My oldest brother was in the Air Wing in the Marine Corps. He went into the Marine Corps with a gentleman from Rock Cave. And he said, when we hit basic training at Parris Island, I never saw your brother Earl for a year before I went to Hawaii. And he was in the Air Wing and I was in the infantry. And I said, well, what's the difference? He said, they ate steak every night. We had beans and bread. Today we're here to dedicate a memorial to the life of Fred Michael Kerns, who made the ultimate sacrifice for his country, his state, his family, and his friends while serving the United States and the Republic of Vietnam. 51 years ago, 1 month and a few days later, we are proudly honoring his service to provide freedom to those unknown to him. I'd like to take this time to read an article that was in the Record Delta in 1969 when Fred's death was reported to his family. And Terry told me the other day, I said, how do I refer to him? Do I call him Fred or I call him Mike? And he said, well, to Mom and Dad, he was Mike. But when he became a freshman in high school, he wanted to be called Fred. So it's Fred now. After arriving in Vietnam, Lance Corporal Kerns spent a lot of time helping to make life a little brighter for Vietnamese children in an all-girl orphanage. Mike and his fellow Marines visit the orphanage often to take gifts to the children ages 3 to 14. In a letter to his parents in recent weeks, Lance Corporal Kerns said, the orphans need things so badly. So his parents, Fred and Thelma, decided to help. Now Fred's father was a supervisor in the local CMP telephone office in Elkins. He started a drive for summer clothing to be sent to Mike for distribution to the children. The telephone employees, otherwise known as their association, was telephone pioneers in Clarksburg, Elkins, Buchanan, Weston, Grafton, and Sutton made contributions. The clothing was picked up and sent to Mike during July of 1969. This says a lot for Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns and his loving family. Therefore, I will read the Senate resolution. Senate Concurrent Resolution 19 by Senators Hamilton and Pitsenbarger, adopted by the Senate March 7, 2020, requesting that the highways named bridge number 42-219/00038.13, locally known as Eisner Creek Bridge, carrying US 219 over Eisner Creek in Randolph County, the U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns Memorial Bridge. Whereas Fred Michael Kerns was born October 15, 1948 in Weston, West Virginia, the son of Fred G. and Thelma Marie Glover Kerns. Whereas Fred Michael Kerns was sworn in the United States Marine Corps after graduating from Buchanan Industrial High School in 1966 and commenced active duty in 1967. Whereas on October 3, 1968, Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns arrived in Vietnam where he served as an aircrewman of helicopters with Marine Light Attack Squadron 167, Marine Corps Group 16, 1st Marine Air Wing, 3rd Marine Amphibious Force. Whereas Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns was killed on July 29, 1969 as a result of a non-hostile helicopter crash in Quang Nam Province, South Vietnam. And whereas Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns was awarded the Air Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, National Defense Medal, Presidential Unit Citation, and the Vietnam Gallantry Cross Unit Citation, and the Combat Air Crew Badge. And whereas Fred Michael Kerns' name is listed on the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., panel 20W, line 71. And whereas Lance Corporal Fred Kerns was one of several hundred West Virginia residents, one of over 17 Randolph County residents to make the ultimate sacrifice for his country during the Vietnam War. He is buried at the Masonic Weston, West Virginia. Whereas Lance Corporal Michael Kerns, on the date of his death, left his father Fred Kerns, his mother Thelma Kerns, three brothers Terry Lee, Alan Williams, and Stephen Craig Kerns. Whereas it is fitting that an enduring memorial be established to commemorate Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns' sacrifice for the state and country, and therefore be it resolved by the legislature of West Virginia that the Division of Highways is hereby requested to name bridge number 42-219-00038.13, locally known as Island Creek Bridge, carrying US 19 over Island Creek in Randolph County, U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns Memorial Bridge. Be it further resolved that the Division of Highways is hereby requested and made and place signs identifying the bridge as the U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns Memorial Bridge. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the Senate is directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the Commission of Highways, given under our hand with the seal of the Senate of West Virginia, the 7th day of March 2020. Mitch B. Carmichael, Senate President, Lieutenant Governor, Lee Cassis, Clerk of the Senate.
Uncle Terry?
That's the sign for the bridge right here. What looks like. We've got 8 of these. I left you one. And some wherever. Now they're heavy. Keith, just why don't you go with me? Yeah, I will. They're heavy.
Uncle Alan? always. Mr. Norm Frenchie. I'm not going to say your last name because I'll mess it up. Norm Fontaine.
Very much for getting a picture. You take your mask down just for a second.
Mr. Funfar.
That's it.
Okay.
Did you keep one for yourself, Marlon?
No, we have one.
Okay.
Yep.
At this time, Bill Hamilton, Delegate Bill Hamilton, oh, I'm sorry, Bill Hartman. Want to say something, Bill? Want to say a few words? Sorry, Bill.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming. I knew Fred Sr. when he worked at the phone company. My wife worked at the phone company, so familiar with the family. But you know, this is I guess the 7th bridge that we've dedicated this summer in Randolph County, and we think we've probably dedicated a bridge to everybody from Randolph County that was killed in Vietnam. We still have a couple to dedicate. We dedicated one 2 weeks ago in Pocahontas County for the Sharp family, who had 7 brothers in the Army, and they all came home. But you know, it's really good to talk to the families, and it's good that we remember those people who made the ultimate sacrifice. And I'd like to thank Roger Ware. He's been the mover and the shaker in this organization to keep everything alive as far as recognizing veterans, and I think we need to continue that, because every day we see something in the news where somebody's saying something derogatory about veterans, and you know, I think unless you've been there, you can't really criticize a veteran. But again, thank you all for coming, and God bless the Kerns family.
Thank you, Bill. Alex, come on up. Next, I'd like to introduce Rick Dusenberry. He represents Congressman Alex Mooney, United States Congressman.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to address you on behalf of Congressman Mooney. And Roger, you can call me anything you want. I will always answer, yes sir, because of what a great Marine he is and everything that he's done for all of our service folks in Randolph that deserve to be known, because they are the ones that paid our freedom forward. And you know, it's interesting. Over the past several weeks, I've been fortunate enough to talk to Roger about these things and read some of the bios of some of our fallen, and it makes you go back and examine history. You know, America was always an experiment of individual rights and self-expression. And you know, a lot of people look at history in some ways, and a lot of people look at history in another, but we've always gone to help folks, and amazingly, after we help them and we tear up their yard, we rebuild it. And you know, just information-wise, a statistic, if you look in the last century, over 100 million people died under communism, socialism, Marxism, authoritarianism. And that right there, I don't think we have any kind of numbers in our history that will get anywhere near that. And we always tried to protect the other people. And I always say that the reason they went out on the satellites of Korea, Vietnam, etc., was so we wouldn't have to deal with it here. You know, if you think about it, when you walk out in the woods to go to your deer stand, we're very, very fortunate. We only have to worry about a rattlesnake, copperhead, or a hole where you might step and break your ankle because of a rabbit. Everywhere else, they worry about getting their leg blown off or getting killed. And so we're a very fortunate country to have men and ladies of this caliber that will go and protect us and pay it forward our freedom. And thank you again, Roger, for allowing me to participate on behalf of Congressman. And I will read this letter real quick. Dear friends, please accept my sincere apology and regrets for not being able to be with you today for this bridge dedication ceremony honoring United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Fred Michael Kerns for his heroism and exemplary military service during the Vietnam War. I send my most heartfelt wishes to a family and a county whose loved one answered the call of duty to protect our freedoms. Today, you're remembering and celebrating the life of your loved one of West Virginia's sons who performed above and beyond as his awards reflect. His military record is a testament to his dedication to duty and his love for his country. The dedication of this bridge to Lance Corporal Kerns for his service and sacrifice is just one of many bridges and roadways that have been dedicated to members of our armed forces in our country for their service and sacrifice. The honor of such dedication is not only to elevate the service member with our thanks, but it's also to remind our citizens that someone paid their price for freedom. To the family and friends of Lance Corporal Kerns, I say on behalf of the citizens of West Virginia and the United States of America, thank you for his service. And most of all, our freedom. I know we can never repay such a price except to strive to be the citizen that Lance Corporal Kerns proved to be. It is my honor to serve you sincerely, Alex X. Mooney, member of Congress, 2nd Congressional District. Again, thank you for allowing me to read this on behalf of the Congressman. Thank the Kerns family for paying our freedom forward. And Roger, thank you for making this effort to make sure all of our sons and daughters are not forgotten and remembered. And also thank you to Senator Hamilton and also Delegate Hartman for their efforts to make sure that this comes to fruition. And Senator Pittsburgher as well, since he was on this as well. But, okay. But thank you for allowing me to present these on behalf of Congressman.
Thanks, Alex.
Alex, okay.
If you look around, look at the people here. We're here because that's the impact that Fred Kerns made on all your lives. Without Fred, knowing Fred, you would not be here. That's the impact of one person. It's important for the community to reflect on what today really means, as it reminds all of us in the community we have some very special young men and women dedicated to preserving our freedom. July 29, 1969 is a day the Kerns family will remember that Fred Kerns forever remains 20 years old. It's been 51 years since Fred lost his life. This is a way we can memorialize the loss of this true American. Fred's legacy will live on. He's no longer with us, but his memory lives on in the hearts of those loved ones and those who knew him. Naming a bridge in honor of Fred will give us an opportunity of remembrance, reflection, and respect for honoring the men and women who dedicated their lives in service to this nation. They cherished liberty and loved freedom enough to lay down their lives to preserve our way of life. We as a community honors our heroes and remembers the personal sacrifices they made for their country. It is an honor to play a small part in helping ensure that this sign serves as a memorial to Lance Corporal Kerns' courage and as an inspiration for generations to come. The naming of this bridge is a wonderful way of remembering this brave young Marine who lost his life in service for our country. The sign bearing his name will be a reminder of that. Often, when we dedicate a bridge or a road to a fallen veteran, we have to stop traffic for about 10 minutes to uncover the signs. Most of those travelers don't like to stop. They try to run past us. They blow their horn. They use swear words. Because they don't want to give up 10 minutes of their life for the uncovering of the sign. Lance Corporal Fred Kerns would have done anything for those 10 minutes. That's why we always uncover the signs before we start the ceremony. It's just been too much of a hassle in the past to stop traffic, and we just get tired of people that don't show respect for the fallen. Dedicating a bridge is a perfect symbol of what Lance Corporal Kerns gave, because when someone puts everything on the line, that creates a bridge now allows everyone else to live free and travel back and forth. For those who cross this bridge every day, the signs will serve as a silent sentinel, and freedom has a price. And Fred gave his life to help pay for this freedom. The memorial sign and dedication ceremony will be an everlasting tribute and will honor him while keeping his memory alive for family, friends, and the community. It will also bring some healing and closure to members of the Kerns family. Fred was never properly honored for his sacrifice. This was long overdue. It's a wonderful moment for his family to finally see him recognized. Fred deserved to be immortalized and honored, as his name on this bridge will be for all travelers to see, ensures his legacy and his sacrifice will not be forgotten. We also dedicate this memorial as a place for those coming after us who recognize our desire to acknowledge those who have sacrificed so much for our freedom. They will be encouraged to place the same importance on this site as we do today. Fred Kerns was just a young man who went to Vietnam, who was barely out of high school, and was cut down attempting to provide freedom for those he had never met at a time when his own life had barely begun. I think of all the milestones that Fred never reached, such as graduating from college, marriage, having a family, having a good job, many, many more, and reach old age like the majority of us. Remembering is a continuous act of life. We never know whom our actions will impact or who might touch and influence us in return. Thank you to the Kerns family, the veterans organization represented here, Senator Hamilton, Senator Pitzenberger, other dignitaries, and guests for attending. At this time, I want to also thank members of the American Legion to my left and right who are here today with the Honor Guard. Normally, Channel 12 TV shows up. I think the Intermountain might be here. I never know. But at this time, we'll have the bagpiper, Tom McLaughlin, is going to play a Marine Corps hymn. We're going to follow that with Amazing Grace. Then he's going to pause. And when he pauses, we want everyone to stand, if you can, because he's going to play taps. And we'll render honors for taps. Tom, you ready? Everyone please stand.
Honor Guard, attend, put, present arms. Order, arms. Parade, rest.
The chaplain will now read the benediction.
Let us pray. May the divine assistance remain always with us. May the strength of God sustain us. May the care of God preserve us. May the hand of God protect us. May the way of God direct us. And may the love of God go with us as we leave this afternoon to go our separate ways. May the souls of the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace.
Again, we'd like to thank the members of the American Legion Post 29 here in Elkins, the delegates, Alex Mooney, Senator Hamilton, Senator Pitzenberger, and Delegate Hartman, and all of you for coming. I always tell people when you finish up a dedication like this, be proud, brag about the sign, tell all your relatives and friends what that sign means, who that sign's for. There's a lot of them in West Virginia. And these gentlemen over here, just the names I read off, are the ones that push these things through. As you travel through West Virginia, I would expect there's several thousand of these bridges named for individuals. A majority of them are for veterans. We always hope here in Elkins, sometime down the road, some teacher will get a smart idea and go out and say, okay, students, go out there and look at those signs, and you tell us who that sign's for and what they did to get a sign named for them. What a wonderful thing it would be for kids to remember that. Okay. Thanks for coming. God bless every one of you. And God bless the family of Fred Kerns. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Honor Guard, attend, put, dismiss.
Thanks, George. You guys did good.
Hey, Roger, the next time, we have some new base plates. They're about, they're big around. They're the heavy ones from the lawn umbrellas. We've been using them. They won't blow over. And they can yell at us. We'll get them out.
You have a good
Really?
Yes, I read that. Start with what they are.
So, yeah, he received the Purple Heart and the Air Force promoted him to sergeant on his death. But it's something
Years ago, I wasn't sure. None of us, and that's 51 years ago, like I said, I remember buying a camera.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
My guys have to know about it. Give me the hand. I don't want that.
That's all right.
Done.
Come and see us.
I'm not one of
Okay.
those guys.
See you, buddy.
That was earlier time.
It's a good nucleus.
Yeah.
By the way, I do a column in our newspaper. It's part of my school board.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do one on Kerns.
Okay.
School system.
Okay. Yeah, a little piece of history there. Yes. Okay. All right. And it's in the paper there. In the record notes. Okay. That's awesome.
It'll probably be a month from now.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
But they give us a slot.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you. And you guys be very careful traveling home, okay? Thank you. Bye, sweetie.
Okay.